Hello, teacher. Good afternoon. Today we will be talking about our integrative learning product. We are a team made up of Carolina, Erika, Ixchel, Julio, Jacqueline, and a servant. The country we are going to talk about is the United States, and we will begin with its history.
Okay, hello, good afternoon. My name is Julio, and I will talk to you about the history of the USA and Sun Maurice. Okay, before becoming the United States, it was a place populated by different cultures. For example, the Plains Indian or the Woodland Indians in the west. Sometime later, Christopher Columbus will arrive to American thinking that it was the Indians in 1492 and in 1513 Ponce de Leon gives its name to Florida and 1565 Pedro Menendez de Aviles founded the city of San Agustin, become, becoming the oldest European settlement in the country. That Spanish continued to make expeditions in the United States, but they did not find what they were looking for. And since they did not feel gold, silver, nor inability land and has they advanced, nor the climate was colder. And then they were limited to Florida, California, and some areas of the South. At this time, the United Kingdom was split in territory, and many English immigrate to the current and United States. In the 17th and 100th centuries, as time passed, the 13 British colonies in North America are founded. Uh, and however, not only the English were interested in the lands, the Germans settling in Pennsylvania, creating the large one and the Dutch founding and New Amsterdam, which will become New York when the English lack it, and France will come into conflict with the UK and 1754. um, the first Continental Congress took place and this years. The first meeting of turning against the first crown and favorite of the independence. And 1750, the war between the United States and the United Kingdom began in May of that year. A second Continental Congress was held Philadelphia, and it's being to assume the functions of the national government on July and 1754. The United States Declaration of Independence was signed, and Spain and France will help to end the colonials. The Battle of Saratoga in 1717 and was the first battle the Americans win. In 1781, the British lost the war on Yorktown. 2 years later, it is recognizing that the United States becomes independent after the war. Federal government of the United States was equipped with a president of the Republic and two legislative chambers, constitution while drafting in 1017. In 1812, the United Kings declared war of the USA to recover the territories, winning again the Americans and in 1812, the Americans took advantage of the Industrial Revolution, began to expand to the far west. This due to the creation for railways, canals, and highways. And Mexico goes to war with the United States, conquering some territories of on California, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado. In the presidential election of 1860, the recent great Republican Party, led by Abraham Lincoln, support the prohibition for slavery in the territories of the United States. The some states that only the slave who's working in the fields opposite, starting a civil war, and 11 states declared their succession to the U.S. From the Confederate States of America. However, the United States won. The prohibition of slavery resulted in racism among people of color, and one Council Head 165, the creation of the Ku Klux Klan was funding a white supremacy terrorist organization whose carry out attacks on the black community. In 1867, the United States bought Alaska from Russia, and the Second Israel Revolution creates growth in the country. Many immigrants are really looking for opportunities. With this, the Americans seek to have more territory, resulting in inhibiting the Indians, while lacking the Blackheath war against the Jaycots, winning to the United States. Sometime later, they will arrive into Cuba and no, taking advantage of moving against Afghanistan. The Spanish government established a colonial empire. For the Spanish attack was used to the USA, called declared war on Spain. Cuba gains its independence, with the Philippines, Puerto Rico, and Hawaii become part of the USA. And 1914, the First World War was starting. The USA was against the war, but they intercept a German message and raced to Mexico, and American ships were sunk by Germany. The United States ending up attacking Germany and sent 1 million soldiers to France. Um, and 1920, the country had a good economic and displayed the United Kingdom in economy leadership. And in the country had a good economy and displays United Kingdom that with depression rate which caused thousands of banks and companies to go bankrupt, and the production was a good in walls which will invent will be nearly percentage, and 1933 and Franklin Roosevelt come to power and launched the new ideal policy. This with the aim of getting the country out of the crisis. That policy and establishing income and benefits, the social security law, the stocks and security commencing and real control over banks, provinces in that country with more jobs. But in 1939, the Second World War arrives once again the United States does not enter directly, in only limiting itself to helping in selling and in sponsoring embark on Japan. In Japan. However, the attack of the Pearl Harbor in in 1941 and caused the United States to declare war on the Japan. Germany declares war on the United States, and the United States does the same. The United States drops two atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, this being the winner of the war. The alliance between fascism and to an antagonist powers and emerge and capitalism and communism, and result in the so-called World War. The U.S. capital's modern counter against to communism of the Soviet Union. This war could be fought in some smaller countries where, and there was where between faction that supported these models. In the 50s, several social movements and claim rights and reforms for some minorities, so African Americans, and regional conflict around the United States could not bring down the regime of Fidel Castro, and the missile conflicts occurred when the United States discovered that the Soviet Union was installing nuclear missile in Cuba. Then the red telephone was installed. The United States enters the Vietnam War, has to live do the consulted and the cost that this intervention. On November 22nd, um, President Kennedy is assassinated during a parade, causing great commotion in that country. And 1969, the USA lands on the moon. In the 18th, the crisis of the Soviet Union around that collapse and put the down of the Cold War. The 90 States begin with the Cold War, where a coalition led by the USA expelling Iraq from Saddam Hussein from Kuwait. In the years only companies such as Google were house created. In the 2000 on September 11 to place our IHAB, the terrorist group, and hit the wind towers. And this attack started the war Afghanistan terrorism and giving a direct military intervention on Afghanistan and new visitors games. It into in 2004, Saddam Hussein is captured as he had weapons of mass destruction. The results is a war between guerrillas, causing thousands of the that until 2011. Barack Obama withdrew to troops, leaving a vacuum of powers and leaving of the view of the Islam slate into 2008. An economic crisis broke out of the breaking of the Lehman Brothers, and and in 2012, Obama won the United States presidential election in 2014. An immigration reform emerged that offers a legally exit to the 11 millions, sorry, undocumented in immigration living in the country. In 2015, Cuba and the United States officially released the politic and relation of 54 years of confrontation. In the year 2016, Donald Trump wins the election for the U.S. president. Several terrorist bomb attacks occur in house in Texas. several mass shooting in the United States, Aris and, and 2019. Uh, yes, several terrorist bomb attacks occurred in 2019 for the free sale of weapons. In the same year, Trump was to end the TMEC, and Joe Biden becomes the current president of the United States in 2021. And and in education from USA, and there is not national education system in the United States. The federal government does not run schools. Each of the um, the 50 states has its own Department of Education, which set the rules for school in the states. And public college and university receive funding from the state in which they are located. Each state legislature decides how much funding and give to college and universities. For the most part, control of American school rate with individual school districts, and the school board, a small community of people elect be members of the community, establish the general policy for each school of the corresponding district, and students attend public school that not pay fee for first to grade, and school district include elementary school, middle school, and high school. Primary school include preschool and range from high school. After elementary school, students enter the middle level where they attend grades and 6 to 8 or need. Students that enter high school to complete grades, and school students attend with a variety of courses. All students must take course in English, math, science, and social studies, and they must all learn of foreign language and secular education. A course can last on 1 or 2 semesters. And more in the United States, education is compulsory for all students up to the age of 17. Student graduates of giving pays or required course, and student receive grade for each of the courses on the down of semester or 10. And many major city of suburbs have international school, such as the International High School of San Francisco in Washington D.C., and the Lives French de Chicago in Chicago, and the U School in New York. There's take international baccalaureate, and different programs and rigorous set of places that require the students to receive at the right college level.
My name is Excel, and I'm going to talk about United States relationship with other countries. Mexico and United States have economic and trade negotiations signed in the North American Free Trade Agreement with Canada. And Mexico and the United States have 193 years of diplomatic relations, and they began in December 1822. The bilateral agenda includes various issues in the political, economic, and commercial, social, environmental, energy, technical border, and security fields. It's a mature, multifaceted, complex, and comprehensive relationships in terms of trade. The three economics are deeply interconnected. 84% of Mexico's GDP comes from trade, and Mexico is
Good afternoon. My name is Carolina Castro, and I will talk to you about immigration. First of all, what is immigration? Immigration is a population movement that consists of the arrival of people to a country or region other than their place of origin to settle here. And in the United States, many people arrive as immigrants. It's more common for them to immigrate in the United States because people who are from the United States do not tend to migrate to another part of the world because they feel happy where they are living and not is convenient for them to go to another country. The main countries of origin of immigration in the United States are Mexico, China, and India. And the country with the refugee migrants to the United States is Nigeria. Many times we think that it is very easy to immigrate to another country and start over, but it is very difficult to be able to start with nothing, with very little in your pockets, and nobody can understand why to live. But sometimes it is also the best option.
Good afternoon. My name is Jacqueline, and I will tell you a little about the culture and religion of the United States. Okay. While almost every language in the world is spoken in the United States, the most commonly spoken non-English language are Spanish, Chinese, French, and German. 90% of the USA population speaks and understands at least some English, and most official business is conducted in English. And the census Bureau divides and taught language in the four categories: is Spanish, other Indo-European language, including German, Yiddish, Swedish, French, Italian, Russian, Polish, Hindi, and many others. Um, and Asian and Pacific Islands language are also included Chinese, Korean, Japan, Thai, Tamil, and more. There's also category for other language, which are for language that don't fit in the first three categories, like Hungarian, Arabic, Hebrew language of Africa, and language of Native and North Americans, Central and South. And well, on the other hand, almost all known religions and practiced in the United States, which was founded on the basis of religion freedom. The majority of Americans identify Christianism, Also, all the population had no religion affiliation, and a small portion of the population is made of Christianism religions. However, the United States is widely known the world has leader in the production of mass media, including television and film. The United States comprises a third of the global media and entretenimiento industry and is worth 707 billion. However, the austere culture of the United States extends beyond movies and television shows, and New York is the home of the Broadway, and Americans have a rich theatrical history. American folk art is an art style and is identified with quilts and other handmade in according to the music of the folk art. American music is very diverse with many styles, including rhythm and blues, jazz, folk, country, and western bluegrass, and rock and roll and hip hop.
Hi teacher, I am Sara Hernandez and I will talk you about tourism and society in the United States. I will start with the tourism part. The United States has a large number of tourist places since it is one of the largest and most diverse countries in the world. It has a large number of tourist destinations ranging from the skyscrapers in New York and Chicago to the incredible and wonderful nature of Yellowstone and Alaska, and of course the beautiful beaches of California, Florida, and Hawaii. This time I will mention the emblematic places of the United States. We thought though the Statue of Liberty is sometime that symbolizes the United States since it is one of the most visited, and it is that in the photo it looks smaller than it really is because it is 93 meters high, and the enormous statue welcomes immigrants and visitors. The iconic 40 meters high white letters that from the word Hollywood is another tourist attraction. Plus, you can also find the famous stars of the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Another overly visited and significant point in the USA is the westward expansion of the United States and is a structure dedicated to the American people. Another place that is truly eye-catching is the iconic Meteor Observation Tower in Seattle, known as the Space Needle, and of course the Cloud Gate sculpture that is located in the Millennium Park, where you can also enjoy a slice of the famous Chicago-style pizza. On the border between New York and Canada are the waterfalls with the highest flow rate in North America, the famous Niagara Falls. Comprised on three waterfalls, these natural wonders are renowned for their pristine beauty and as a valuable source of hydroelectric power. The monument with the sculpted face of for people are another symbol of the United States, since saying that image we already know who it is, and it is nothing more and nothing less than Lincoln, Washington, Roosevelt, and Jefferson, former presidents of the United States. Society, the word society refers to a group of people who are part of the same culture, who share the same folklore, who share the same criteria, which conditions their lifestyle and customs. There is a metaphor about the American society, and it is that it is in mixed salad. All the ingredients are mixed but never lose their shape or identity. You can identify and distinguish the tomatoes, the lettuce, the onions, etc. But all the ingredients together contribute to arrive the mixed salad. According to this metaphor, different ethnic groups play an important role in the final product. USA society would at the same time maintain and develop their unique cultural beliefs and practices. The idea of the USA as a mixed salad represents the concept of cultural pluralism, a heterogeneous society, and acculturation. That is, USA society is a collection of many cultural realities that coexist within the same country, but in which each group attempts to maintain its culture. Some characteristics of American society are individualism. American laws emphasize individual rights and liberties and respect for private life. They fight for and defend personal and personal benefits greater than community benefits. Independence and self-reliance from a young age. They talk to be independent. They have privacy in their room, their own decision about their studies and career, about their marriage and future in general. Informality, they dress and have fun in an informal way. They approach each other in a familiar and close manner without protocol or pre-established partners. They use many colloquial words, slang acronyms, and even swear words, but this shows that they are confident and do not intend to offend others. Competence and self-fulfillment. Personal achievement success is very important from a very early age. Children are encouraged to participate in various extracurricular activities such as sport, music, or hiking, and they spend all their time competing. Friendships is understood differently from the Hispanic or Latino way of being. They tend to have brief and less formal relationships due to the high mobility they experience. They move cities, change educational institutions or jobs, etc. They then to classify their friends in categories according to the environment in which they move, works, family, university, etc. Material success. Some Americans measure success in terms of the money they have earned to goods they own. They believe in working to achieve a comfortable standard of living full of luxuries and benefits. Punctuality and energy. They are on time for appointments. They follow schedules and are always in a hurry. This gives them a quality of efficiency and productivity much admired by visitors from other cultures. Ethnocentrism, their attention is focused on what is happening in their own community or city that might affect them directly, and they are not informed about what is happening around the world, even about global problems they rarely know about.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Dominguez, and I will take about of government politics. The interwar period and World War, despite not joining the League of Nations, the United States was a key player in the international order, linked to the rights of their rights. Precisely those economic connections caused the collapse of the US stock market in 1929 to cause a global financial crisis, the Great Depression. What worked? The United States emerged from the war virtually unscathed and more prosperous than ever. It had a monopoly of nuclear weapons. It had the most advanced military and commercial technology, and its military ruled the sea and the sky. US hegemony. After the unexpected collapse of the USSR, the United States remained the only hegemonic power and began to wield a war in its image and likeness. Throughout the 19th, as democratic and economic liberals spread throughout the world, the United States strengthened its alliances with many countries from the former ANC bloc joining NATO. News powers. Barely 2 decades after the end of the Cold War, US hegemony was leadership was already in question after the invasion of Iraq, received severe setback in the economic crisis as Western economies stank and US leaderships compressed. Other powers like China or say President Obama tried to move away from the Bush heritage via dumping a more multilateral stance, really on NATO to intervene in the 2011 war in Libya. The actual president is Joe Biden. Much of the political scene was dominated by the fight and recovery from the pandemic, as well as the withdrawal of the US Army from Afghanistan at the end of August, which favored the taking over of the Taliban terrorist group.
And next, we are going to show the infographic that we made about some of the most important aspects of the United States.
Well, in the next section, I will present the infography of our final work. As the story of the United States, we can see the struggle for freedom of people of color, which to date has had a lot of relevance in the world. In the United States, They have a very high level of education. In the same way, it has a very good quality. The United States has a relationship with many countries such as Iran, North Korea, Syria, etc. The culture in the United States is extensive, and even many people speak more languages such as French, Spanish, German, Chinese, and the religion that predominates in the United States is Christianity. Is mentioned about immigration is very common in the United States because Americans are happy where they are living and do not see the need to change residence. Which is why there are more immigrants than migrants in the United States. As a last aspect to mention, the government of the United States is a constitutional federal republic, so it is governed by a president who is elected by the inhabitants of the United States. And thank you very much for your attention. Have a nice day and nice afternoon, teacher.